It has now become more or less casual and without consequence that Kenyans are experiencing the same treatment across board in Uganda and Tanzania. Now, this has gotten to a level where the Kenyan authorities should intervene, but according to the portrayal of our Foreign Affairs Department, is that they are moving at snail's pace. In fact, the biggest caricature of that is a tortoise.
Well, Fred, it's very interesting, and thank you for having me this morning. It's very interesting the way we treat our citizens, because you see, the prime responsibility of any regime or any government in power is the protection of the people of the country, whether they are here or abroad, and also protection of their property. You see, if whatever we are reading now through the media is that Kenyans are being targeted in Tanzania, and even to a certain extent by the regime in Uganda, is a very dangerous phenomenon, given the fact that we ought to be talking of regional integration. That's why we have expanded our East Africa to include other countries like DRC, South Sudan, and even Somalia, apart from, of course, Rwanda and Burundi, which have been in this particular East Africa community. It is dangerous because we seem to be having leaders, particularly Our Lady from Tanzania, who seems to be allergic to anything Kenyan, forgetting the fact that the trade that is supposed to be between us and Tanzania is a trade that is supposed to be encouraged, given the fact that Africa, we are still lacking in terms of intra-Africa trade. Now, when we seem to be targeting Kenyans, given the fact that Kenyans all the time, even since independence, we've been seen to be the big brother in the East Africa region. That's why Nyerere at some stage was saying, instead of going to London, why don't you go to Nairobi? You will see whatever you would have seen in London here in Nairobi. All that has been a major problem, that there's been a bit of disquiet, but the worst is what the president of Tanzania is doing this particular time. Was in the sense that we should not be encouraging ourselves to fight, because we'll be responding to the narrative that has been pervaded by these other international players, such as the Western. So it is worrying, given the fact that the elections in Tanzania were violent, they were shambolic, and we suspect Uganda may also be equally the same come next year. And the year after that, Kenya may actually face the worst of the times, because we are dealing with somebody whose mindset is akin to what they have compared the issues of Mussolini, people like Ian Konescu, and Adolf Hitler, who in that particular time, run up to 1945, they were the people who terrorized the three countries, Romania, Italy, and Germany, and of course terrorized the region. Incidentally, they all died almost around the same time. Two of them, 1945, one through suicide, and the following year, the rest of the three. I'm not suggesting that the three presidents should die, but they should realize that there is nothing permanent about any position in life. The only thing that is permanent is that change is inevitable. And when you see there is this disquiet among the citizens of East Africa, the communication is the same. Bob Njagi and his colleague, they are not trained in any riots. It is only that the issues they have been facing in Kenya has almost rubbed onto Tanzania and also to a certain extent Uganda. It is worrying. It is something that citizens must arise and refuse to be cowed by leaders who believe they own the country.
Yes, and we've seen even in Tanzania that Kenyans